What's up, crazies? My name's Jessie, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm a Digital Intermediate Engineer, also known as a Conforming Artist who spent the last couple of years working in film post-production and who can tell you a lot about how movies are made and what to notice while watching them. We interrupt this regularly scheduled Heartstopper program because we have to talk about The Wheel of Time. Season 3 is now fully streaming on Amazon Prime, and I want to talk about it and answer the question why Season 3 is the most epic season of them all yet. Let's dive in. The Wheel of Time is a fantasy series based on the books by Robert Jordan. In this world, the Wheel of Time is a metaphorical wheel that spins the fabric of reality. It weaves all lives into a grand design called the pattern. Time is cyclical here, which means history repeats itself and souls are reborn again and again and again. The magic in this world is called the One Power, and only women can wield it or channel it without going mad and killing everyone. Most of these women are part of the order Aes Sedai. Most Aes Sedai have a warder, a bonded protector who can feel their emotions and thoughts. One of these Aes Sedai, called Moraine Damodred, with her warder Lan Mandragoran, has made it her mission to seek out the Dragon Reborn, who has been prophesied to have the power to either heal the world or break it entirely. Her search leads her to a small village where she meets our other main characters. Randall Thor, a shepherd, Nynaeve Almira, the wisdom, aka healer of the village, Egwene Alvir, the wisdom's apprentice, Matt Cawthon, a troublemaker, and Perrin Ayabara, a blacksmith. Okay, so much to the general premise. Now, final spoiler warning because we are going to talk about Season 3 and mention things that happened in Season 1 and 2, but nonetheless, you should still watch the show even if you watch this video because it is so good. Now, let's analyze why Season 3 is even more epic than Seasons 1 and 2. The first thing that I noticed immediately was that in Season 3, they changed the aspect ratio. Before, they were using the standard 16:9 widescreen aspect ratio, which, depending on your screen, has no to only a small letterbox blanking on the top and bottom of the screen. Now, in Season 3, they suddenly switched to Cinemascope. This ratio is commonly used in epic films and blockbusters with a much more noticeable black letterbox. You can find the use of this aspect ratio in films like Dune, Star Wars, and the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Cinemascope is often used to convey the movie feel. It's more immersive because it shows more of the landscaping left and right of the characters in the frame. It also has a more cinematic feel to it in establishing or landscaping shots, and is more captivating for the viewers as they are shown even more of the world in this wider angled shot. Using Cinemascope compared to the 16:9 ratio is basically saying this season is bigger, bolder, and more cinematic, and it really shows. In the past few seasons, something that really annoyed me was when scenes were shot at night, because they were often so dark that I could barely see anything, even though I had all the lights switched off in my room and my screen brightness turned up to 100. Now, either those scenes were not lit properly, or for some reason, they decided that in the grading, they would turn down the saturation and the shadows so low that you could barely even make out the actors' faces. This is different in Season 3. Thank God. Night scenes are still darker than day scenes, of course, and they have that blue lighting to them, but you can see nuances in the colors and shadows, and you can recognize the actors and actresses' faces again. Lighting night scenes properly, especially outside, not making them too bright or too dark, requires good pre-planning and a bigger budget, which shows that in this season, they upped the finances and put more effort into making them lit properly. And they did not just pull down the saturation in the grading to make it seem darker. Another thing that got an upgrade in season 3 is the VFX. Now, The Wheel of Time has always had great and high quality VFX. They use a lot of special effects, like on monsters, for example, or also the Ogier Loyal. They put them in costumes, put them in masks, and that will always look better than making just a simple CGI monster, because practical effects make it feel and seem more realistic. But not only those practical effects are higher quality now, so are the visual effects. When the Aes Sedai use their magic, the weaves of their magic are even more detailed than in the other seasons. If you look closely, you can almost see the pattern in their weaves, which makes it more magical and more epic. Also, establishing shots of their fantasy cities are much more detailed and shown more frequently. In moments where there's green screen used, you can still tell if you have a skilled eye, but it is done really, really well, with the masking around their heads being very detailed and the lighting so accurate that you can almost not tell that they were in front of a green screen. It still does not have the same flawless quality as the Rings of Power Season 1 had, where you could not tell which was green screen and which was build set, but it is still very good quality, and I'm very pleased to see it even more detailed and perfected. They also really stepped up their fighting scenes. They have always been epic, but we have such a monumental battle happening in episode 7, which was filled with an amazing mix of practical and visual effects. Buildings and people were on fire, bows were flying around, blood was spattered everywhere, and the Aes Sedai was conjuring weapons falling from the sky. Insane. And no two fights were the same. We have the two Aiel warriors and Loyal on their quest in closing the Waygate, fighting off their enemies with skill and expertise. Back in the town square of the Two Rivers, women who have never fought before are defending their home and finding a rage which makes them a force to be reckoned with. In the moments where it's kill or be killed, our heroes find their courage and fight back, no matter the cost. It's in a way that is befitting their character and the setting of each individual scene, making them even more epic than in the other seasons, because the stakes are even higher this time, and our heroes are stepping more into who they are. The Wheel of Time has some of the most beautiful and thought-through built sets that I have ever seen. On each and every set, whether it's at the White Tower, on a ship, or in a city street, the sets are built with immense detail and personality. It's absolutely incredible. In addition to that, the costumes are so vast and change from place to place, making you feel like you really are in a different place, with different costumes and different cultures. Intricate details like this are also possible with a bigger budget, and I'm so excited to see that they used every single penny to make the viewer's experience even more immersive than ever before. In this season, they also really stepped on the gas pedal when it came to the character's development and the pacing of the storyline. Not in a rushed way, but in an exciting, even more interesting way. I love how, yes, the characters are established now, but they don't stay stagnant and where they are. They constantly develop and change. Rand, for example, has to accept his identity as the Dragon Reborn. He struggles between the fear of going mad and killing everyone he loves, and at the same time figuring out his place in the pattern. Moraine has to learn to lean on others and accept help from the people who love her. And Egwene discovers she's a dreamwalker and learns how to harness that power while battling attacks from Lanfear in both her dreams and her love life. I especially love the episode where Perrin fully steps into his role as leader. He didn't choose to be one, but he naturally is one due to his humility and bravery. He knows what he's fighting for, and he is willing to lay his life down for it. Our heroes are always facing something. There always seems to be something going on. It's like this task of defeating the darkness has so many different avenues and ventures our characters have to go on to get to that point where they can defeat the darkness. It's not just one streamlined path. There's opposition, there is danger. Our characters struggle with fears, doubts, anxiety, grief, loss, all of which they need to overcome. It's always something else they have to navigate through and move on from. And that's what keeps things going and makes it so interesting, because it's always unexpected. On a quick side note, something I also love about the show is that the world the Wheel of Time is built on is a cycle which repeats itself again and again and again. Souls die and are reborn again and again and again. Due to this fact, people who fall in love with each other fall in love with each other's souls. Gender doesn't matter here. It's also not a big fuss if somebody is queer or not. They just are. They fall in love with the person in front of them, and nobody discriminates them for it. There is no heteronormativity in this world, and I wish our world was more like that. Through our heroes' trials and tribulations, we learn more and more about the world that they live in, its history, and potential future. There is a lot of show don't tell used. I especially really liked the episode where Rand and Moiraine enter the rings in the Aiel Waste. Rand seeing his past ancestors' lives, leading him to understand how he got to where he was now, and thus showing us more of the history and what happened in the past, even up to the breaking. I loved also that they used the actor who plays Rand to show us the different ancestors. The makeup and costume department did an incredible job there, making him look different in every moment in time, but also showing us how versatile Josh Stradowski is. I hope I pronounced that right. And then that camera work during Moraine's time in the rings, where she traveled through different possible futures for the story. That was such an incredible camera work and VFX work. It was 100% show don't tell. And I love show don't tell. Just don't tell me anything, just show it to me. I don't care. I want to see it. I don't want to hear about it. Just show me. And that's what they did here. They showed us where they were in the scene, who was in it, and what happened, and then immediately moved on to the next possible future, and then the next, and the next. There was barely any time to breathe or register what just happened, much like Moiraine must have felt herself going through this horrific trial. And I also loved how those two different paths had two different camera movements. The future where Moiraine lives and Rand dies had a different direction than when it was the other way around, which makes sense because those two futures are opposite of each other and would set the future into two very different directions. With the progression of the show, our heroes have become more and more powerful. But so has the opposition, especially the Forsaken. Lanfear and Moghedien are both powers to be reckoned with. And not just that, they're also mentally unstable, which makes them completely unpredictable and dangerous for our heroes. The Forsaken are also extremely interesting characters because they are complex and we don't understand their motives yet, so we are kept on our toes at all times. And because of these villains, we are legitimately afraid for our heroes. We fear they could be harmed or even killed. We fear they could fail because the enemy is almost too powerful to be defeated. Our heroes winning in the end is not guaranteed. The scene where Moghedien hypnotizes Elaine and Nynaeve shows this extremely well. Moghedien is so creepy here, and I was legitimately scared she would kill Nynaeve and Elaine right then and there. But instead, she takes over their minds and pulls out information so easily from these two women who are easily some of the strongest characters in the show. But with just one weave of her finger, Moghedien turned them into puppets. How scary is that? And how powerful is this woman? Our heroes don't stand a chance. it seems like. Also, due to the foreshadowing of all the visions Moiraine had when she went through the Trial of the Rings in the different futures where Lanfear killed her over and over and over again, that scene where then in reality Lanfear and Moiraine were battling each other, I was so scared. I was legitimately so scared. I was like, okay, is she gonna die? Is Moiraine gonna die? Is Lanfear gonna win? Is she gonna kill her? Because we know for Rand to succeed, Moiraine has to die. So is it gonna happen now? I was like in my seat, so intense, because they did such a great work of the foreshadowing and of establishing villains that are hard to defeat. And because these villains are so powerful and capable and actual adversaries, dangerous adversaries to our heroes, it takes real and true sacrifice to beat them. Our heroes face hard decisions that will not only shape their future, but the future of the entire world. Choices that might even lead to their deaths or the deaths of their loved ones, but are for the good of the entire world. Like how Aram of the Way of the Leaf chooses to abandon everything his family stands for as he is faced with death. He breaks his oath of doing no violence in order to save the life of a newborn child, making him lose his home, his family, and his entire way of living. He's losing his identity in order to defeat the darkness. And it really puts into perspective, what would you sacrifice? What are you willing to sacrifice in order for the light to triumph over the dark? The Wheel of Time has always been of high quality and an incredible standard, but in season 3 it feels like they finally have found their groove. This show knows what it is now, and I've noticed that a lot of shows find their groove in season 3. Bridgerton did that too. Maybe there's something about season 3s that just has this effect on shows where they're like, now we know who we are, what we're doing. Third time's a charm, you know? And you can also tell that they really have more budget now because there is more details, there is more effort. Things that are expensive have been put into the show, and you can tell they used every last penny they got to make something great. The people who make this show, you can tell that they really love what they're doing, and they have made it a priority to keep creating something of quality. The pacing, the storyline, the character development, and the world building are all woven together in a beautiful, intricate, epic pattern, and I cannot wait until we get season 4. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts are on the Wheel of Time series, on this season, especially season 3. Do you also think that it's better than the others, or did you like the first season better or the second one? Who's your favorite character? What's your favorite plot line? I want to know everything in the comments, so tell me your opinions down below. And also, if you agree or disagree with what I said, we're here to discuss. I'm not the one all be all. I don't know everything. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel, but also to my second channel, Jessie Craze, where I am starting out as an indie musician. Don't forget to turn on notifications to never miss an upload and the amazing content coming your way. Next week, we will finish up Heartstopper Season 3, Episode 8. We've been waiting, but I wanted to quickly do this because Amazon just dropped all of the episodes for Season 3, so I was like, oh my god, I have to make a video, and then we will continue with Heartstopper next. And after that, tell me what to watch. Should I react to every episode of Wheel of Time? What do you want me to do? Let me know in the comments down below. Stay crazy. See you in 2 weeks. Bye! Something I didn't mention, because it's been epic from day one, is the soundtrack. If you need an epic study session or don't have any motivation to clean your room, listen to the Wheel of Time soundtrack. It's so good. This is grave indeed. I believe you.